So much for stopping by, and sorry for my tardiness. I had to get my little eyeglasses wipe and a million other things. So it's Friday, TGIF. You guys know I've confessed that ever since I've been a mother with kids in school, I'm like TGI Monday, but we won't go there. I know I get the worst mother of the year award, right? It's rough. I have 4 kids, and I like to say, if you can handle children, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many, you can do anything. Yeah, you could fly an airplane. You could do like brain surgery while you're flying an airplane. I suspended dusting and mopping the floors for the live. LOL. Oh, aren't you so sweet, Mr. Fred Field? Thank you. And Mark says, hello all. It's Friday. I like the way Shan says it's Friday. That's cute. I've heard that other places, but not so much. She really runs with it. And it's adorable. Everything Shan does is adorable. You guys know I'm in love with her, right? Okay, I'm gonna have to delete this video and start over. And I forgot to freaking text the people that I usually text. And Mark, if you want to email me your phone number, I can text you too when I remember. I didn't text anybody yesterday either. There's just 3 that I text. I usually text Shan, Ara, and Nico. So if you'd like to be added to the list, and John, you could be added to the list too if you want to just email me your phone number. You know my email is justicetooz@gmail.com. So I couldn't believe on my video yesterday, I took like 15, 20 minutes to get into the case. I don't want to do that again. Like, probably some of you lovely souls out there don't mind. You're just like, yeah, it's fun to have a chat, right? And I'm sure there's other people who are just like, I'm never watching this one again. She's ridiculous, wasting my time. So yeah, I mean, honestly, you could say all YouTube is a waste of time, or you could say that all YouTube is just brilliant. Let me tweak the lighting a tidbit. But this is why I'm usually late, because there's this, there's that, and the other, and then I kick over the stuff. You're never really ready. I mean, it's always a work in progress, and you can always get a little bit more ready. So how's the sound and how's the glare? Because the glare is a little bit bad for me. To try to read, I might have to do this. And I don't know if like that light, you can probably see it right in the screen. Can you tell me? Can you see this light in the screen? Can you see my hand in the screen? Because like I said, the screen lies to me. It tells me there's stuff in the screen that isn't. Tells me that there's stuff in the screen that isn't in the screen that is, That's why you always have to remember your pants, right? All those Zoom meetings and all those people who didn't realize that their screen was lying to them. Serves them right for running around their house pants free, as I like to say. It's one of mine and my husband's biggest inside jokes. I lost my pants. And if you guys want, maybe at the end you can remind me and I'll fill you in on the inside joke, because it's a good one. But I don't want to do what I did yesterday and just ramble on and on and on before jumping into the case. I do want to try to keep up with you guys, so that is the challenge. Let me see if I can adjust this light ever so slightly so that it's not giving such a doggone glare. So annoying. So yeah, I was totally gonna go into Best Buy yesterday, throw a Karen, get a new computer, like literally just get a brand new one, so then we have an extra, because there's a lot of people in our house. I don't think there'd be any such thing as an extra laptop, but they cost money and stuff. So plus, honestly, I just didn't even want to go in there. I just didn't want to take the time. I didn't want to deal with those MFs, so I didn't. And I'm going to try to be patient. I feel like I've been way too patient already. I know you guys have been really patient with me, and you're sick of hearing my complaints and me not doing anything about it, but I've tried. Lordy, I've tried. Megan must have a rough life handling 37 kids. OCB, you're cute. Oh, Mark, or no, that's John, sorry. John. See, I got to get the glare off my glasses. You're so nice to say that. I love my chatting too. I mean, I'll be honest. So Ara made a new video last night, you guys, or this morning. It's really good. Let's talk about that real quick. I think did I put a link to it in the description? I meant to put that one in there. I did a really good job of writing my description and the title and the thumbnail and all the links first, because my problem is that if I don't do it first on the freaking laptop, it might let me do it right after, or it might make me wait 24 hours. And that's ridiculous. And it's inconsistent. And I don't know why that is. But on the laptop, you can do it instantaneously when you're done. And so I'm trying to do it beforehand. So love your chatting. All okay here. Annie Ruler says, hola, sound is good. Well, that's nice because, yeah, honestly, the sound is rough with this device, but I think it's the same with the laptop. And misery loves company. I've been noticing a lot of content creators are having trouble with their technology. So, that could just be technology and that could be other stuff. So even Christina Randall was having trouble with her technology, you guys. I put 2 links to her videos in my description. The first one, I think, was her most recent drop, and then the other one is from a couple of weeks ago, because she's talking about Delphi. And you guys know I haven't gotten into Delphi, but I think we might need to talk about it a little bit today. That's why I put Christina Randall's links in there, because it might well relate to Idaho 4. Let's hope it doesn't. Let's hope this whole Odin thing is just, crazy. It seems like it's pretty spot on with the Delphi case, and it could have something to do with the Idaho 4. Let's hope it doesn't, because it's so gross, you guys. It's so freaking gross. And hold on one sec. The thing with the Delphi case is that there's this other case. 2 girls in Evansdale, Indiana, from 5 years before the Delphi case. There was a channel called something SLUETH. And I really liked her, but she's quit making videos. I'll come up with it. Something SLUETH. Not Sleuthy Goosey. That's an easy one to remember. Anyway, she lives either in Evansdale, Indiana, or near Evansdale, Indiana. And she was slightly older, and she was a nurse, and she had short hair, and she had a cute little room that was like bright orange with all these like plants and stuff in it, if you guys know who I'm talking about, the SLUETH one. And she was pretty sharp, but you could tell she was really nervous when she was doing her videos, and then she stopped doing them about a year ago. I was hoping that she would continue, especially because she would talk a little bit about these 2 other girls in Evansdale, Indiana, which I think is on the west side of Indiana, if I'm remembering correctly. It was in 2012. It's a town of about 120,000 people, or city, 120,000 people, so not that big. Their names are Elizabeth Collins and Lyric, I didn't write too clearly the last name. Lyric something. Gooch, maybe? Coach? Anyway, Elizabeth and Lyric are cousins. One of those 2 girls was 8 years old, I think, and I think the other one was 12. And it's really hard to find information on the case because it's a cold case, so it's been 11 years. And last year, when it was the 10-year anniversary, I think, is when that SLUETH channel brought it up. Yeah, Evansville, Fred, are you familiar? Is it kind of close to Chicago? You could go on with a flip phone. Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome? Candlelight, and you'd be here. John Courtney, oh, you're the bomb. Thank you for saying that. You're so nice. I miss my flip phone. I do. I loved my little, like, bright blue flip phone. I was completely in love with it, and then they pried it out of my cold, dead hands and made me get a smartphone, and I was like, no! And I was wanting my blue flip phone back every day for years. Anyway, let's stay focused. Okay. The smartphones are pretty smart. I have to give it to them. I've called them stupid phones. I would say my stupid smartphone, right? When I am typing comments in the lives, by second or third boom comment, YouTube glitches, takes minutes to complete, and it is never available in a search on phone to comment. Whoa, Annie Ruler, I've noticed the same thing. Like things that glitch out are usually like the Hamburglar's name. If you actually say his name, it'll glitch out, which is why I try to use all these cutesy little stupid names, you know, pet names, nicknames. And John Courtney says he's having a revolution. Good for you. I will be there. Be there or be square. Okay. So, what was that sleuth channel? Anybody? Anybody? The nurse with the really short hair. She was like a little pixie, and she was usually talking about Kylie Rodney, the Idaho 4. Yeah, she started with Kylie Rodney, and then she went to Idaho 4, and I think she got really overwhelmed with it because of the effery. Like, and then, like I said, she also never really got comfortable talking to the camera. You could tell because she would be shaky. She would have her notes like this. And I'm not making fun of her. Like, I loved her. I thought she was awesome. And I've even made comments and, you know, hoping that she'd see them, asking her to come back. My comments are hidden sometimes. Ooh, John, Courtney. That's crazy. Because, yeah, when they get retracted and there's nobody in, like there's no moderators, yeah. I guess I need to be more careful with my words. Right, that's why I speak in code. Like, you know, what was the one that I would say? Cars that don't tell. And, you know, it makes you seem a little nuts. Like somebody who's not in tune would be like, why is that weird woman saying cars that don't tell? You guys know why. Because the cars that do tell will get you. So, yeah, during the live chat. Yeah. And, you know, doing a live probably makes all of our devices more vulnerable. So we do need to have the protections on our devices. If you're not familiar with that, I would say contact Shan, and you know, she gives tutorials and stuff. So one sec. You know, fortunately, I live with an IT crew. I live with a geek squad, and then I have that other geek squad at Worst Buy that I'm probably going to have to fire. Okay, so the girls in Evansdale. The thing with Delphi is kind of a repeat of that. And you guys know why I don't normally cover these types of cases. Honestly, all along, I've thought that the Richard Allen guy looks guilty. And I know that there's all these people like Crime Circus talking about the, you know, the community, another buzzword or, you know, code. Talking about the Odin community and how all the guards at the prison wear the patches and such. And other channels have talked about that too. And honestly, I've wondered if that's not a little out there and cray-cray. But I've been open to the idea that maybe it's on target, but I really honestly thought that this was like content creators looking to create drama. I mean, I'm just being real, because you got to be careful. And you guys know me, I'm skeptical of almost everything. I do get fooled a lot because I'm not skeptical enough. But if you're too skeptical, then people think you're freaking paranoid. And screw that. I don't need anybody to try to like pigeonhole me or discount me. Like, I know what I know, usually. I'm not always right, but almost always. Okay, I gotta tell you one cute story. John, I saw a greater GAC are cryptic initials. He didn't like a comment in comments, and creators said, wow, my viewer do not need to see his comments. Wow, that's pretty wild. I'm unsure. Only creator has hide comments forever. Hope not mods. We have had some issues with, in my opinion. Right. And like one of the mods, I think on Shan's live the other night, was falling asleep. And yeah. Anyway, the cute story, before I forget, is my oldest child, who's 21 now, when she was about 3, and you know, she was like 3 going on 30, like she got it out of her system early, the rebelliousness in the teenage years. And she was really mad at me, and she was just all pissy. And I was like, honey, what's wrong? And she said, I'm just so sick of you always being right about everything. So that's one of our favorite inside jokes. I'm just like, man, that girl can articulate, don't you think? A 3-year-old saying that? Too funny. Hey, Michael McAllister, how are you? Is Ara here? I did not see Ara. Is she here? Say hi if you are still here and I missed it. And of course, I'm almost out of water, and I'll have to get up and grab more water, I think, if I do run out. But let's see. So in speaking of the Richard Allen case, it sounds like he is getting scapegoated. It really does. It sounds like, this is why I put the link to Christine Randall's video as my very first link, because Christine, I love her. She's an amazing content creator. She's been to prison, so she knows shit, okay? And she's just really cute. She's really bubbly. She's a really good content creator. And I'm being honest. I love you, Christina. If you happen to see this, I doubt you will, because, you know, I'm just a little guy. But the only thing I don't like about Christina Randall is that she is extremely conservative. Like, she seems to go with the status quo. And I'm saying this as constructive criticism in case that ever gets back to her, because that girl is smart. She's sharp. And I think she should just go with her instinct, even if it's against the status quo, especially somebody with, you know, the reach that she has. Like, doesn't she have like 1 million subs by now? I'm pretty sure she does. I'm pretty sure she's making bank. But, you know, more power to her. She does an excellent job. She is somebody to I try to aspire to, but I do wish that she would not go with the status quo as much as she does. So I was really surprised to hear her going completely against the status quo in her most recent drop about Richard Allen, and she goes into great detail. So I'm not going to, because like I've said, I haven't been covering the Delphi case. I've paid some attention to it, but not that much. And so anyway, let's move on to the cases that we like to cover. We love to cover Kiely Rodni, damn it. And I'm going to try to keep up. I want truthful. I want ever who did it to be held accountable. I don't pick a team. Right, John Courtney, 100%. And hello again, Michael McAllister. Casey says, Mark, from the soft white underbelly, posting make 13-year-olds a crime. Can you think of something we can do to help these young females? And Annie Ruler says, hi, Ara. So she must be here, but she's probably at school unless she's on break. So she might not be able to comment. And she might have just popped in and had to hop off. It's just wrong. She is 13. I'm not sure which case you guys are talking about. Some creators have managers guiding their opinions, I am told. Absolutely. They have agents. I know, is it Alyssa, 10 to Life? She's mentioned that she has these people, right? Agents. So I was just like, whoa. I was stunned. I didn't know that. So I do appreciate when these content creators tell us some of the inside scoop. You know, Harsh Reality has shared numbers of how much he gets paid each month, which I also appreciate, because most of us are kind of taught not to talk about money. But I think it's helpful to know just the scope of things. This was a few months ago, and he said like 5,000 a month. And for all I know, it's doubled by now, because he's really taken off in his numbers of subs. He's probably getting close to 90,000 or more. A year ago, it was like 40,000. And anyway, he did a really good last video, you guys. The reason I'm bringing him up is because this morning he mentioned Kylie Rodney's case, and I'm just like, right on, harsh. Please keep talking about Kylie Rodney, because he has a huge reach too. And we want these, I want content creators with a larger reach to talk about it, as long as they're gonna not try to whitewash it the way it seemed like everybody was. And I think a lot of us were accusing these bigger channels of getting paid off. And in a sense, even if they're not directly getting paid off, they are indirectly getting paid off. If they're just saying what they think people want to hear to get more clicks, more subs, and more likes, then yeah, they're getting paid off. You want that money. You know, I am in a really good place with money. I mean, I'm not wealthy by any stretch. I'm not poor by any stretch. I feel like, you know, it's all relative anyway, but I just feel like I'd rather live in a cardboard box without money than have that kind of thing. So, of course, my plug-in for my phone is the one thing I forgot, and it just told me 20%. So I'm gonna take a second and look for it, you guys, because that's ridiculous. That's one thing I cannot forget, and I think I know where it is, but no, of course I don't. I'm going to grab it. It's gonna take me a second. I got it, you guys. Before I say I'm giving up, I promise you I will try not to, but you gotta be effing kidding me. It's just one thing after another. And then, of course, this plug-in that I went all the way out to my car to grab, it's gonna throw everything off, so bear with me. And let's see if I can lower that a tiny bit. Is that better? And then I want to tighten that so it doesn't move. Let's see, I want to do like I said, just bear with me if you don't mind. I can't believe I forgot the cord of all things. I've learned my lesson not to, but at least I went and got it before it was a problem. But now I have to find the thing to plug it into, because it won't plug into my lights. Let's see if I can plug it into this, if it'll reach without knocking everything over. Oh my goodness. So yeah, like I said yesterday, kids, if you want to start a YouTube channel, don't try this at home. You might just go postal. Because now it is completely messing with the angle, and it probably isn't bothering you guys so much, but as a content creator, it's like you just have to mess with everything so that when something goes wrong, it's not that big of a deal because you've got most of your things under control. So I don't feel like I'm a control freak, but I might be. Let's see. I'm just trying to get it at the slightest angle, and it's really hard now with this MF cord there, and now it's gonna tilt. Okay, I think I got it. Okay. You are very welcome. Mom's First Always. Didn't you win one of the last pairs of earrings, Mom's First Always? Like the red teardrop ones? If it was you, or if maybe you won the black ones, if you won one of them, it's in, you know, because you were the first one to comment, and I need your mailing address. So please email it to me if you want, justiceatooz@gmail.com. And if you'd rather have me send it like to a general delivery post office, I'm happy to do that. I'm more than happy to do that. Okay, Evansville is about 300 miles straight south of Chicago. Never heard of Evansdale, LO. Yeah, Indiana. I don't know if you're saying Evansdale, Louisiana. I think most states have an Evansdale. Boo, just listening. Hey, Kimberly Walker. JR Nana, TGIF. So I watched Squirrels on Fire video this morning, and that's a great video to take to something. So Ara did a great video also about wondering if Scammy is left-handed or right-handed because of the contusions that it sounded like were being described in the autopsy, although I think they said something like no contusions anywhere on her, but then went on to describe some discoloration on her scalp. If you look at Scammy's family, yeah, Squirrels on Fire and Ninja this morning, I think I saw both of those. Scammy's family's business, they could have had full control of investigation, 100%. Please look into company and how they get jurisdiction. Also, look at contact information for San Francisco. SF Investigates. That guy's a jerk. I did a lot of digging early on in the case on Scammy's family business. So Sierra, what is it called? Sierra Investigators, Sierra Private Investigators or something like that. It's Sierra something, and it's a private investigator firm. Her mother is, I think, a retired attorney, or maybe she still holds a license. Her father, they're both like private eyes, basically. And, you know, like what a lucrative business to be in a town like Truckee, where you've got all these extremely wealthy people who need their property looked after, especially when they're not there, but even when they are, like, you know, Pelosi, Hammer Time. So there's a very high probability that Nick G, with his private investigator certification, that he would know them, because, you know, when you're in a business, in a field, in an industry, that creates a smaller community. So even though he lived in Reno, the Sierra company that Scammy's parents, I think they've had it for like 20 years, and all of their contracts are through the government. So it's pretty tricky business. So they are extremely connected, extremely well connected. I've also learned that her parents basically control all the finances in the Truckee area for like scholarships and, you know, funding for the arts and things like that. Like all that stuff goes through the Smith family, according to the research that I've done. Right now, I'm discussing with Placer the jurisdiction issues, crickets for the moment. Right, the jurisdiction issues are huge, absolutely huge. And I think criminals choose jurisdiction, no man's lands to put things. Ara's talked about that a lot, to put things or to do things, and other content creators as well. Ara referred to a movie with Ashton Kutcher that I can't think of the title right now, but I went ahead and watched it, and it was a good movie. It definitely related to the Kylie Rodney case, if anybody remembers it, or just wants to Google Ashton Kutcher movie about that kind of stuff. Tahoe investigates government contract for SF, something like that. They subcontract. Okay, Tahoe Investigates isn't their company, I don't think, right? Their company is called Sierra Investigates or something like that, I think. But yeah, I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've looked at that stuff. Okay. And, oh, Mom First Always says I did, so you sent me your email address. So I wanted to discuss further my critiquing of the interview in air quotes that Nick Wren and Devin did on CCTV channel. I did rewatch it, and I'm really glad that I did, because I really tried to rein it in and listen to it with fresh ears and listen to it from like the other side of the fence, from where I landed when I first listened to it, and it really unnerved me. So then I kind of like gaslit myself and told myself that I was just being emotional and reactive, and that I just needed to take a chill pill and, give them credit for what they're doing, right? Because they're coming out on this platform to make a video to try to sell themselves, basically, to try to shut everybody up and to try to regain clout. Really, honestly, I think the bottom line. And Nick Wren was too chicken to do it himself. And yeah, I'm just going to be that person, Nick. If you want to come at me, please do. We can talk. I mean, I had a lot of respect for him, and I gave him a lot of leeway to do whatever it was that he needed to do to be professional, protect himself. So one of the things I wanted to speak to is that by calling themselves volunteers, they kind of give themselves a long leash to do whatever the heck they want. They're not unpaid volunteers. Like, yeah, they're volunteers because nobody there has to pay them, but they're making a lot of freaking money on YouTube. AWP has built up a fortune as YouTube content creators by being volunteers, by being free to people in need of finding a lost family member, that as long as they're in a vehicle. So another thing, and sorry, I'm going to miss some of your comments while I'm talking. Nick Wren and Devin, Nick obviously didn't want to come on by himself. And at the beginning, he thanks Devin for coming on with him, and Devin thanks him for having him on, which, yeah, that's very cordial and that's a normal, natural thing to do. But at the same time, I found it informative that, Nick really wanted him to come on, and he really wanted to come on. So I think that Nick needed the emotional support. My opinion, my speculation, and everything I say is simply my opinion and my speculation. Everything I say is simply for the sake of having a conversation, trying to open up a discussion, and to be educational and to get educated. And all these videos are made for YouTube, and it's an entertainment platform. Okay, there, covered all that. Please hit that like button. Can you see it? I think you can. And please don't forget to share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed and turn on your notification bell to ring if you like. Okay, so where was I? With Nick Wren and his wanting somebody there to provide emotional support and to back him up. And that's exactly what Devin did. It was basically Nick telling his story. And of course they could say, well, yeah, Devin was there because he's the sound guy, and so he was present for everything. But then selectively, all of a sudden, he's not present for some things, like hearing who it was that Kylie got in a fight with. I call complete BS on that. I think they're both straight up lying, like bald-faced lying. And they have to, right? Because if they would say, oh, it was scammy, which I feel like after 14 months plus, it's become abundantly clear that she had a lot to do with Kylie's demise. I also think it's abundantly clear that she didn't just float to the back of the vehicle. Yeah, it's possible. I'm not saying that that's impossible at all, but not this time. Not this time. That's one of my favorite quotes from this whole thing. Not this time. Not this time. Like, what the F did you mean when you said that, Scammy? Okay, I don't want to miss everything. That's what the sheriff's office basically said about, sorry, I did miss that one. Hey, mom's first always. Hey, John. That is exactly why. Devin was there. The only thing he really did was take up screen space. He did. He took up a lot of screen space, and he made Nick look so tiny. Like, that's weird because, yeah, Nick's not, he's a petite man. And then Devin is a very big person. And together, it was just like the weirdest juxtaposition. It's like, are you trying to emphasize your sizes? Because you really are, like, underscoring it by being right next to each other. They could literally, the way these cameras are, they could have had Nick Wren sitting a little bit closer to the camera. They could have angled it, and that would have solved resolved some of that. Anyway, there's a lot of tricks to the trade. So the other thing he did is he literally said, "I got this," when Nick was getting all flustered. And I thought he didn't actually say that. I thought that that was just his attitude. But when I rewatched it, he actually used those words. So Nick was having trouble talking about Nick G, something specifically. I didn't write down a timestamp. But then Devin jumps in and says, "I got this," and tries to whitewash it and bail him out. So to me, even looking at it from the other side of the fence, my conclusion is the same. This whole interview, which it wasn't really an interview in my opinion, it was PR and it was damage control. And my opinion is that Nick and other AWP people might be really sick of people saying things like, you know, "We know you guys know more. Why don't you talk?" And so they're trying to resolve that issue. And in some sense, they kind of nailed it. They did a good job of gaslighting and saying, "Look, here we are, we're talking, and this is what we have to say." They literally didn't say a single thing different than what they've ever said. Actually, wait, I take that back. Nick was a lot less critical of law enforcement. And this is my bottom line. This is my bottom line. I'm so sick of being gaslit. If she was out there, her car was out there the whole time, how the F did they not see it for 2 weeks? All of these investigators are just blind as bats. Come on. Seriously? You guys are going to run with the "we're too stupid to see what's right in front of our face" story? That's your story and you're sticking to it? Okay. Okay, you're that stupid. None of you should be in law enforcement if you're that stupid. Not a single person who is out there. The other thing they said, oh, this pissed me off because this is obviously a lie. We don't even know what entities were out there because they were, you know, just wearing plain clothes and they didn't have labels on their shirts, like if they were FBI or U.S. Marshal or, oh man, they had everybody out there. What was the other one? They had like the terrorists, Homeland Security. They had Homeland Security people there, you guys. Give me an effing break. You are not going to have Homeland Security people out there for a missing drunk kid. Okay? Period. I am so mad at these idiots. Like, okay, I'm calling Nick Wren an idiot for not being a stand-up man. I'm just going to do it because you know what? He seemed like a stand-up man. So did Doug. They both seemed like stand-up dudes. And to me, they're both weasels. And I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Well, you know, this is how we have to do things, blah, blah, blah. Okay? You're the one who's going to have to live with yourself. You're the one who's going to be 80 years old looking back and knowing what a freaking weasel you were and how you let this 16-year-old girl get her life stolen from her and impeded real justice. The other thing they said, that just brought to mind, they said something like how they weren't going to intervene with how the police were handling things because it's their case. And yes, of course, if you tried to interfere with what police were doing with their investigation, you could get arrested for obstruction of official police business. So of course, you're going to back the F off and let them do their thing because that's how our system works. You have no choice. The only thing you can do is then complain and write letters and get loud. And for them to try to put that back on all of us YouTubers, well, if you think things were wrong, then, you know, write emails to the officials in charge. Okay? You do that, Mr. Wren and Devin. You guys write those letters because you pretty much said that you're in that same camp, that you know that things aren't right. Okay? You have a little more clout maybe than just the rest of us flaky YouTubers. Oh, I'm just so mad at them for trying to manipulate and just, you know, obviously they know how. They're professional YouTubers, you guys. That AWP is probably a multi-million-dollar enterprise. And then, you know, they're off on their own ventures since AWP broke up or Jared reconfigured. I haven't paid attention because, you know, I was just so freaking disgusted with all of it and how it undermined Kylie Rodney getting justice, because that was SF's goal. That was all of their goal when they came out swinging, trying to throw mud at not just Jared, but the entire crew of AWP. And you know what? So sad, they've been effective. They've been able to do it. Those guys from AWP knew information that incriminated law enforcement, in that law enforcement did not do their job. They are not finding justice. They are not protecting the public. They are not protecting Kylie Rodney and her family. They are not doing their job. Dereliction of duty. They can be charged for that. There can be criminal charges for that. I've been looking it up. I've been talking to people. It's disgusting. So I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the gaslighting. I'm sick of gaslighting myself. I don't need to do that favor for these idiots. So why is it saying 10% now? I thought I plugged you in, you rat bastard. Hold on. It's just kind of loose. All right. Damn. Picky, picky, picky. Everything is plugged in, isn't it? And it shouldn't come on again. It says that we're down to 10%. It was plugged in. It was just getting loose. Screw this thing. I'm not going to give up, you guys. Don't worry. I don't think. So I can do it. If nothing else, I can make pre-recorded videos or community posts. I just really like visiting with you guys, and I'm missing all of your comments. It's not Nick's ours business. No, but he's his own enterprise. If he's off on his own or whatever business he's doing, he's his own person, and he needs to have integrity or he can be a loser. I mean, that's his choice. Pick your poison. Yes, but she needs to go off a good rant. Don't criticize me. I don't need that. No, they deserve to get their butts kicked, you guys. Like, they're being dirty rat bastards. I'm just going to speak my truth because, like I said, I rewatched it, backing off and looking at it from the other side, looking at it from the side of, you know, they're just doing their jobs, they're just being professionals, blah, blah, blah. Okay, in the end, they're human and they have to live with themselves. And there's a 16-year-old kid who's not alive anymore, who would be 17, 18 by now, who has no chance at any of her dreams. She was extremely talented, extremely bright, extremely beautiful, extremely unique, and she's gone forever. And that sucks. And she deserves justice. Her family deserves justice. Kylie Rodney matters. Every life matters. And they don't need to whitewash this. There's enough of that going on in Truckee. You know, they're just speaking Truckanese. I really like that term that Shan came up with. What isn't criticizing? Oh, thank you, JR Nana. I'm a little sensitive, huh? Letting you have that space. Thanks. It was Jared who said about releasing more video and our heads would blow. He was just shooting crap. He is the one who put the rest of them stuck with all the crap talk. Absolutely, 100%. He's a pig, and so are the people that tried to use his crimes against the whole crew, because as we all know, he wasn't even there. He was not present, which is unusual for Jared. He's usually present at these things. So like I said, he knew that he had this court stuff coming. He knew he had the lawsuit coming. He was well aware. Things were filed in like March or February. Anyway, okay. He probably will work with law enforcement. Probably shouldn't be a food look to go against Ellie. Probably wouldn't be a good look to go against Ellie. Definitely not. I mean, unless the LE is being criminal, because then if they get arrested and you were backing them up, then you're going to look like that fool. But yeah, in general, especially as a professional, but even just as a person, you don't want to go against law enforcement. It's not safe on many, many levels. Many, many levels. I know this. But I also know that if you've got corrupt law enforcement and you don't speak out, nobody's safe. So again, pick your poison. There ain't no easy way out, people. If you got corruption, there's no easy solution. You just got to trust your instinct and do the best you can. Judy Ron said once, a cop breaks the law, he is no longer a cop. I know, I heard that, and I would like to agree. However, too many do. So, I mean, I love the sentiment of that, but for that to actually be in reality, it's not, unfortunately. I mean, I know a lot of cops don't break the law ever. And those cops are probably the ones that get punished, the ones that get fired, and the ones that resign, in my humble opinion. I worked for a video production company for 20 plus years, and he has no rights if he doesn't have the video to back himself. Words. Right. He has rights as a human to do whatever it is that he wants and needs to do. I mean, we all have that. We are all sovereign beings of our own selves. So if we're working for a corrupt company, and many of us have, and many of us do, work for larger entities that are doing bad things. And I've seen it with my own eyes, especially as a mental health counselor. People who conform to that in a job for many years, that will take a toll on your mental health. Big time. It's like being in an abusive domestic violence relationship. It's kind of the same type of thing. You become a shell of yourself. I've known a lot of people, not just as a professional being in the counselor's chair with the clients, but I've known people at places that I've worked. I've worked at some of these places, you guys. I sued one of these places that I worked for, and man, did that feel good. I didn't want to, but I had to. They had me backed into a corner. I absolutely had no choice from my perspective. If I didn't, then I was a weasel too. And then everybody else who was getting hurt by their shenanigans, that would fall back on me. I owed it to myself, and I owed it to everyone to stand up for what's right. So that's how I live my life. I walked away from a very high paying job, and you know what? I've never looked back. I've never regretted it. It was probably the best decision I ever made in my life. So it was rough financially, but who freaking cares? I mean, we got by. No free donuts. Okay, sounds like Duty Ron quit because sick of corruption where he worked. And see, Annie Ruler, if he's a real cop, if he ever was a real cop, and I'm not saying that he isn't, I believe that he is, he can never speak out publicly against it. Only in a court of law could he be a whistleblower. He can't go off on YouTube and talk about these things. Absolutely not. He could completely get sued, or worse. He could get deleted. So there, I said it. I'm listening. Hey, Hersheli. Okay, so let me look at more of these things. They said something in that interview about having lunch with Placer County, and I was like, whoa, wait a second, what? I rewound it a couple of times. So AWP had lunch with Placer County. Think about that. Think about that. You know, like in ladies' world, women's world, we say, let's do lunch, right? But these two entities having lunch together, there's a lot more to the secret handshake going on there, in my opinion. So this was my thing. Remember how rude law enforcement and all of Truckee was to AWP when they found Kylie. They were pissed AF with AWP for discovering her whereabouts, and they still are. They've punished them continuously ever since. They've done nothing but berate them and try to diminish their credibility ever since they found Kylie. That is the information that we need to pay attention to. Not the words that come out of anybody's mouth, not what anybody does, just the attitude of the entire community towards AWP, pissed AF for finding Kylie. Like, yes, it would be understandable that people would be upset initially finding out that she's deceased, but you would still be grateful. AWP said themselves it's the only time in their experience that they haven't been thanked by the family. It's crazy. So how on earth could law enforcement be that negligent, have that level of dereliction of duty with Homeland Security, U.S. Marshals, FBI, Sheriff, Truckee Police, and others? And how on earth could Nick and Devin sit there with a straight face and say, well, we don't know who any of these people were. We have no idea what law enforcement agencies were out there. You know, we were just volunteers. We know nothing. Nobody told us anything. Screw yourselves, you guys. And didn't they even say that none of these people were rude to them? They did. They said that, no, none of that ever happened. They were never rude to us. Oh, okay. Where's my rose-colored glasses? Like, what freaking fantasy land do you live in? Like, quit the gaslighting, you guys. They're very effective. They're professional YouTubers. They know how to present things and put a spin on it. And that's all they were freaking doing with that freaking CC interview. And again, I love CC, and thank you, CC, for putting that out there. But those guys, karma is a beach. A beach. Okay. Let's see. They said that law enforcement was great to them. Oh, yeah, weren't they? I mean, everybody in Truckee was so great to them when they found Kylie, and they said, yay, you guys rock. You're the hero. You did such a great job. Thank you for finding our loved one. We're very sad that we've lost her, but we're really glad to know what happened. Thank you. Thank you. That's normal. That's normal. They wanted to find her with only help from the community. Well, they wanted, I think, to find her in like a year, if ever, because then everything would be so decompensated that you'd know nothing. That's what I think. That's my opinion. That's what it was. I forgot was what Sam Brown said about going out with AWP to see what they didn't have. That's what I don't write down. I forgot. I'm telling you, if you're ever giving testimony, providing witness testimony in a trial, that's your get out of jail free card. Just be careful that you don't phrase it like that, because if you do, then they know you're lying. So just say something like, oh man, I almost can remember, but yeah, it's escaping me. I'm so sorry. I'll see if it comes back to me. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll get back to you. Okay, I I got to go back and re-listen to that. Yeah, it was something really important. Well, I thought so anyway. I was really glad I re-listened to the whole interview because I was like, why am I so incensed? And I'm so incensed because they're being manipulative Fs. They are being manipulative MFs. That's all they're doing. That was their goal. That was their purpose. That was the whole point of making that video, was to try to manipulate all of us so they can just F off. Why didn't they use the underwater dive robot with the camera? Yeah. Okay. So, let's see. Yeah, this was, the quote was something like, it's their scene. We were not going to get in their way. That was what Nick and Devin were saying about the law enforcement. It's their scene. We weren't going to get in their way. Again, of course you wouldn't, because if you did, you could get arrested for obstructing official police business. You do not interfere with official police business. You will get charged for that. You will get put in jail for that. You will get fined. It is not something that anybody should ever do. Never interfere with official police business, no matter what. I mean, even if you're in a situation like the people were with George Floyd, you can videotape, that's legal, as long as you're not interfering with official police business while you're videotaping. No, we don't think she was red-rummed, and we are not going to speculate. So no, we don't think she was red-rummed. That was a quote, and we are not going to speculate. When, wait, in the same interview that you said that you have questions and you want answers and you think that there should be pressure put on people that might not be doing their jobs right. Okay. And yeah, the text message that was received by Doug in the middle of Prosser, what did that say? Neither of them have any idea. No idea was the exact quote. No idea. They both said that exact same thing. You know what? That was pre-planned. They had that planned out. When they got to that question, we're going to say no idea. They both said the exact same thing. No idea. And that was it. But then they would elaborate and go on and on and on without any prompting. And why at the end did they say that they're going to continue their own investigation and we want answers at the end? That was pretty much a quote. Devin and Nick both said, we will continue with our investigation, when they were then prompting the public to, contact officials. What investigation? You're going to continue with your investigation of nothing because everything's good? You want answers when there's no questions? Okay, sure. Yeah. So Nick was just trying to clear himself to the public. That was abundantly clear. My goodness, I have so many notes. Okay, I already had 1.5 pages of notes from the first time I watched it. And then I added another 2.5 pages. I didn't even realize. I thought it was only another like 1.5 pages. But yeah, the 14 feet deep, you guys, that's complete incompetence. And my point in all of this is just for me to trust my instinct. I'm glad that I second guessed myself just so that I could reassure myself that, yeah, I think I'm spot on, in my opinion, anyway. And at the same time, I completely validate any other person's opinion, including my dear friend Shan, who you guys know, we're like Teletubbies and we love each other very much. She's got a very differing opinion, and that is 100% cool. I support her in that. Show me a law enforcement department and I will show you corruption. Hey, Dan. Yeah, unfortunately, there's some that aren't, but yeah, I hear ya. I feel ya. Facts, as a girlfriend was there. They always said that after their dives, they talk to each other. And that was how they dealt with their fines. So surely they would have discussed things they questioned. And then they said, yeah, we never talk to anybody about anything. When we're out there, no, we don't. We're just all in our own little worlds and we don't communicate. You know, we're guys. We sit in silence when we're in each other's company, like guys do. Okay. Did Doug really get an RV from ? Did anyone else hear that and have a receipt? I haven't heard that, John Courtney. I'm not sure. I have no idea. True crime and nature, yes, so many contradictions. That's the buzzword right there. Contradictions, yes. It was more of a training on how to use the fish finder. Yeah, they were just in training. They're just volunteers. They don't know anything. They're volunteers who don't communicate with their peer volunteers. Even when they're in training, they don't communicate because, you know, guys. Yeah, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so what else? They said that the water was not clear to see through, but yet they could see through it. And they went into great detail trying to explain how they could and couldn't see through it simultaneously, right? That was cute. Yep, clear as mud. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about, I do want to delve into Idaho 4 for a minute before we wrap up. Are we already at an hour? We're already just slightly over an hour. Let's see. Never mind. Answer. Jazz, I had a friend there. Geez. Had a friend. Hey, you guys. I've never been able to do that. I just resumed the stream. Holy smokes, and you're still here. I love you guys. Let's see. Yeah. Problems. Well, I'm so glad because I didn't want to end so abruptly like that. I think there was like an electrical glitch or something. So I was going to start up a new stream. But thank you for waiting so patiently. That was only a few minutes, but you guys are really amazing to do that, to still be here. Odd AF. What's odd AF? All other agencies. Let's see. Wow, I'm glad you're back. I've never been able to come back once something got disconnected, but there was just like this weird electrical glitch and, you know, very cool. Okay, so I was gonna talk a little bit about the Idaho 4. And now I'm forgetting all of the segues over to it, you know, to try to be graceful. But in the whole conspiracy theory of the Odin thing with Drip Drop and Christina Randall and all these other big time creators that are thinking that that's legitimately what's going on with Richard Allen and Delphi, it makes a lot of sense and could be what was going on with the two girls in Evansdale. That's still a cold case and it's been 11 years. So, you know, an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old, and they were like very similar to the Delphi case. It's absolutely freaking disgusting. But if that same type of thing is going on in Idaho, and they're trying to pin it all on the one guy, just like Richard Allen in the Delphi case, it makes sense to me. Now, Drip Drop just dropped a new one today, and I don't know how we all missed this. He shows on Google Earth, Google Maps, how close Scott Green's president of the university house is to 1122. I still think it's King Road, but I like to say King or Queen Road, whichever it is. Yes, you do have to drive onto Queen Road to get to it. You can get to it by foot. There's a little sidewalk on King, but anyway, blah, blah, blah. If you are at Scott Green's house, and Drip Drop does this in his video, takes you on Google Maps to where you can see the girl's house It's literally, if you're at Scott Green's house, his house is on the left, and then there's a fraternity on the right, and then the very next house that you would see is 1122 King or Queen Road, through the trees, up and back. So it's not like right there on the same street. It's like a whole block away. You have a very clear view of it, you guys. And then, you know, when people were saying that he grew up in that house, that the billionaire grew up in that house, I was like, really? That seems a little far-fetched. Are you sure that's not just a conspiracy theory? Oh my goodness, you guys. So I would like people to give me credit for discovering about him being a billionaire, because I'm pretty sure I was the first one to discover that. And, you know, I do that a lot. I find these huge bombs. I don't make a big deal out of it because it's not my style. And then everybody that takes my idea forgets to give me credit for it. And again, I'm more interested in the cases getting resolved than I am in me getting credit. But my channel is tiny, 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 and it needs to keep growing in order to keep having it. You know, if your channel is flatlining with subscribers like mine has for almost a year now, that's just not good for continuing. I mean, I just want to continue. I don't care if it stays this size, but my concern is that if it's not growing, then it's doing the opposite. It's, you know, decompensating basically. So I'm going to request that people give me credit where credit is due. And I could be delusional. Maybe other people had discovered the whole billionaire thing and I just didn't know that they discovered it. Maybe they discovered it at the exact same time that I did. And, you know, yeah, whatever. I'm not that concerned, but I do think it would be nice for these huge channels to give me shout outs once in a while. And I've tried to like cool my jets on that and not request it so directly, but I'm requesting it very directly. If you think you have taken an idea from my channel, please just give it a shout out. That's all I'm asking. That's it. Just like, hey, you guys know Justice A to Z? Check her out, please. And thank you. Anyway, on to the next thing. I do need to wrap up. It's 2:15. Evansville. Thank you, Fred Field. I'm so glad that I saw that. Yeah, I wrote down Evansdale. I was sleuthing on the interweb. Evansville. So now I'm interested to see how big Evansville is, because I was really surprised when it said 120,000 people, the population, because I was thinking it's probably a very small town around the size of Delphi, which is only 3,000. So, yeah, I'm going to have to re-Google that. And if anybody wants to Google it right now in real time and just type in what the population of Evansville is. Thank you so much, Fred Field. I'm so glad that you caught that, and I'm so glad that I caught you catching that. See, that's what I'm so grateful for, my viewers and the communication. I do think it is legit. It's not about paganism. The Odin thing, I mean, it certainly seems like in Indiana that whole Odin thing is real. And I will tell you, based on my real life experience in Indiana when I was a teenager, I think I kind of skated a little close to that and ran for my life. So learning about this now through the Delphi case, creepy AF, you guys. I seriously think that I stepped into that land when I was about 19 years old. I ran for my life. I was with my mother. We were at the University of Indiana, and, you know, I won't go into it, but it always creeped us out like nobody's business. We both ran for our lives. It was pretty surreal. And I think that if it wasn't that, it was something like that. So, and I know from living in Ohio, right next to Indiana, that there's some crazy stuff in Indiana. There's some crazy stuff in Ohio. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like saying that we're holier than thou, But, you know, Ohio can be very old school, and Indiana even more so, even more so. And it, it seems very legitimate that what's been going on with the Delphi case is what Crime Circus discovered and what Christina Randall is saying. So check out her new video. And yeah, I'm going to read a couple more of your comments and then wrap up. Oh, PCM, I'm sorry if I said anything offensive about Indiana. What part of Indiana are you from? Because I love Bloomington. I love the University of Indiana. And I also love Notre Dame, of course. I mean, who doesn't? And there's a lot of beautiful caves and nature in Indiana. So let me eat my words. I'm just kidding. There, like I said, Ohio has some weird stuff too, but Indiana, you know, with the law enforcement, there's problems from what I know from Ohio law enforcement, people on the inside. Be the meetup place for mass marketing Kylie questions. Take SF Truth ASO to ASO and ask them, WTF is all this about? Not sure. Maybe in the similar town, but not Indianapolis. Oh, so you're in Indianapolis, which is another great place because David Letterman, I'm a huge Letterman fan. I've actually met him in person and he's amazing. I mean, he's an amazing comedian. He has his flaws like all of us humans do, but he is one of the nicest people I've ever met. And his entire crew that works for him, works with him, he holds them all to a higher standard than any employer I've ever seen in a really, really respectful way. So yeah, I can't speak highly enough of David Letterman, and I just love that that's his hometown. So 118,000 population in 2020. Okay, so even though I looked it up probably as Evansdale rather than Evansville, it's still, that was what I saw, was right under 120,000. Thank you, Fred. You're so nice to do that. Nothing offensive. I just think the Odin thing is all around small time America. You know what, PCM? Your words are so valuable. 100% so valuable. Because yeah, we don't want to put it all on Indiana. If we only know of it through Indiana, I think you're right on the money. Because yeah, I think some people would think, well, if it's in Indiana, then how in the world could it be all the way over in Idaho? Right. Because yeah, if it's in one place, then it's not going to be in another. Thank you kindly for your insight there. That's awesome. And again, I feel like a jerk for saying anything about your cool state, because you guys, Indiana has probably some of the best caves in the entire nation, in my understanding. Yeah, there's caves everywhere, and they're so cool. So freaking cool. All right, you guys, I do need to wrap up. It's 2:20. It's Friday. I am very sorry about the technical difficulty. I love you guys for sticking it out with me. Thanks a million. Problem after problem after problem. We will survive through this. Not just survive, we will thrive, right? I want you guys to take really good care of yourselves and treat yourself right. Put your feet up, take your shoes off, kick back, have a nice glass of water, nice cup of hot tea, whatever beverage it is, grown-up beverage, whatever it is that floats your boat. Just nourish yourself. Don't overindulge. I'm not encouraging that by any means, because overindulging in anything is bad. Even overindulging in something like yoga can be bad. You know, you've got to be reasonable and moderate, and especially things like sugar and alcohol, caffeine, you know, that's my vice right there. You've got to be moderate. Oh, goodness. You guys heard about the guy who freaking died from the lemonade at Panera Bread? I'm so glad I brought that up because I had heard zero about it until yesterday. Anybody who doesn't know, real quick, nutshell, some guy with underlying heart conditions drank a whole bunch of the lemonade at Panera Bread, having no idea that it was like an energy drink, and he freaking had a heart attack and died. Is that so sad? Like, I love lemonade, and I love iced tea, and I love Panera. And I was just like, oh, Lord. Like I said, we all have to be so careful. Like, this is so sad. He had no idea there was caffeine in it, because I'm pretty sure he avoided caffeine at all costs because of his underlying heart condition. But there's just so much danger in the world. So stay safe. Take care of yourself. Keep those around you safe, and just be yourself. Do your thing. That's all. Just be yourself and do your thing, right? Isn't that like the best thing we can do? Oh, and give up. Just give up. The Jack Black quote from School of Rock. The words of wisdom of just surrendering. Like, don't give up on your life. Just give up the fight. Just surrender. I mean, at the same time, you know, the opposite is totally true. You got to keep that fire in your belly, and you got to just fight for what's right. Whatever it is, on a small level, on large scale. But right now, we are Kylie's voice. We remain steadfast in seeking justice for Kylie. We know that she didn't drive herself into that freaking water. And everybody in Truckee knows that she didn't drive herself into that freaking water. And these MFs need to step off and give some justice to this kid who was snuffed out. Am I right? I think I'm right. All right, what was it that I said I'd share with you? Oh, about losing your pants. Oh, I'm so glad I remembered. Lost my pants. So this was from a really old Family Feud where at the end where they do the rapid fire thing, the question was, name an article of clothing that children often lose. And so this was the second family member. You know, they have to get like 200 points. And so the first family member got like 170 points. So the guy only had to get 30 and he didn't get it. So the first one, I think the family member that went before him, I think was female, if I'm remembering right. This is in the Richard Dawson days. And she said jacket, I think. She got a lot of points for that. She nailed them all. She got lots of points for everything. Like I said, she almost got the entire 200 by herself, but certainly her male family member could have handled the last 30-ish. It was somewhere around there. It was very few, and he didn't. He barely got a point. But when it came to that question of name an article of clothing that children often lose, he was just like having a complete brain freeze, and he was like, pants! So it was super funny when they're going through at the end and, you know, doing the ding and getting the points. And of course it was the and everyone's cracking up. And, you know, they were like, you know, gloves, mittens, and jackets. Those were the highest ones. But ever since, that's been one of our biggest jokes, our inside jokes. And honestly, you know, marriage is rough. I've been married for over 30 years, and it's no cakewalk. Being single is rough, right? But one of the best things about a long-term marriage is the freaking inside jokes. We have so many good inside jokes. And so I just shared that one with you. One of my all-time favorites. Lost my pants. And, you know, it's really bad when that happens and you're doing a YouTube Zoom meeting or something like that. And, you know, you can't find your pants. Don't go on without them. I don't recommend it. And you guys have seen me jump up a couple of times, so you've probably noticed that I am in possession of the pants. I've got them on. Whew, thank goodness. All right, you guys, on that note, I'm going to say, sending you light, sending you love, peace and joy. It's that time of year. It's a rough time for a lot of people, so be really kind to yourself and really kind to others, and just focus on what's important. Truth, justice, honestly, freedom. Freedom is what it's all about, in my humble opinion. All right, I love you guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it, and I think that's everything. Did I do my thing a second time? I did not. Please share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed, because probably half of you have been unsubscribed. And turn on your notification bell to ring if you like. And remember that love will save the day. Look, it's still in the frame. Is the thumb? The thumb is still in the frame too. All right, so a couple more comments and then I'm out. What did I miss? Mark Molina. Oh, I'm so sorry. You were here at the beginning. So yeah, replay crew if you want. I was on a radio show, Name a Football Team with animals as their name, for a trip to that fancy town in Colorado, ski vacation, like Aspen or Vail. I thought lions, tigers, and bears. I said Jets, 69er Vikings. That's hilarious. I said Jets, 69. Oh, that is too funny. A football team. See, I'm in Ohio, so we got the Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. That's not really an animal. I was thinking bears, but yeah, the Bengals in Cincinnati. Those are the two rivals in our state, right? No pants rule will replay. I mean, sometimes it's nice to lose your pants, right? You walk in the house and lost my pants. Just kick them off and kick back and relax, especially if they're doing like the Al Bundy thing and, you know, you got to unsnap them, unbutton them, and sit there on the couch with your underpants to just be a completely rude individual and embarrass your entire family. Embarrass yourself. All right, on that, you guys, I will see you Monday. And yeah, peace out. Light and love. Thanks again.